Myself. My name is Hove. H to the OV. I used to move snowflakes by the OZ. Hey, this is Brian Norman Jr. making this ring walk. ROCO. Fresh out the frying pan into the fire. I be the music win #1 supplier. Fly it in a piece of paper bearing my name. I got the hottest chick in the game wearing my chain. That's right, Hove. Not DOC, but similar to the letters. No one can do it better. I check cheddar like a food inspector. Hey, look at Brian Norman Jr., the assassin, making his way into the ring, standing on the apron. Let me tell you dudes what I do to protect this. Shoot at you actors like movie directors. We got Brian Norman Jr. made his way into the ring. Looking at Josh Wagner. This ain't a movie, dog. It's about to go down. The co-main event of the evening. Brian Norman Jr. versus Josh Wagner. Ronnie Shields is giving Brian Norman Jr. some water because Brian Norman is in the ring. I done came to the fans from the Scope Arena here in Norfolk, Virginia. Top Rank Incorporated presents the co-main event of the evening. Introducing our judges ringside will be known as Judge number 1, Judge number 2, and Judge number 3. And the third man in charge of the ring in the action will be Judge Eric Itazari. Alrighty, fight fans, here we go. The co-main event, 10 rounds of boxing in a special attraction in the welterweight division. Introducing to you first, on my right, he is fighting out of the blue corner. Presented in association with Universal Boxing Promotions, wearing black trunks with neon green trim, joining us from Orangeville, Ontario, Canada. He weighed in at 147.7 pounds. With a professional record of 19 wins with 2 losses, he has 10 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the determined, battle-tested welterweight, introducing Josh, the Boss Wagner, and his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, presented in association with Throwback Boxing, entering the ring with black trunks and white and pink truck colored trim, fighting out of Atlanta, Georgia. He weighed in at 147.8 pounds with a professional record of 28 wins, 1 loss with only 2 no contests. He has 22 big wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, looking to establish himself in the division, to re-establish himself in the division, he is currently ranked the WBC rank number 5 in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former WBO welterweight champion of the world, the assassin, Brian Norman Jr. Once again, our referee in charge now to give instructions, Eric Itazari. Come. Alrighty, fighters. Punches from the middle of the ladders from Josh is good. Your trunks is good, as is Brian Norman. I gave you instructions in the locker room. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. And let's do this. Getting all loosey-goosey in there is Wagner. He said he's going to weigh 165 pounds tonight. So let's see what happens, because it's going down. Brian Norman Jr., Josh Wagner. Round number 1 is underway. 2 minutes and 53 seconds. The referee saying fight on the outside right now. Hands held high, pumping his jab out as Norman. Pumping his jab. Left hook on the outside by Brian Norman Jr. Trying to lift him up on the inside. Oh, Brian Norman Jr. ain't playing, ladies and gentlemen. I seen him look at Brian Norman's eyes like, let me clean his ass up real quick to let him know that he can't mess with me. Feints on the outside. 2 minutes and 33 seconds left. Round number 1 of 10. Eyes wide open on the outside. It's Brian Norman Jr. looking to try to find his way. Left hook dipped underneath that. Body shot with the left hand. Jab flicked out, thrown by Brian Norman Jr. 2 minutes and 24 seconds. Round number 1 of 10. Jabs being flicked out, thrown feints on the outside, and that's going to separate him right now. About to bust his ass up. Only time to tell the victim no. The left hand to the body being thrown by Brian Norman Jr. Left hand over the top, taking and falling down. The back of the head slipped and fell down with Wagner. No knockdown. That was a slip. Come on now. What the hell is wrong with you over here? Keep your shit together. 2 minutes flat in round number 1 of 10. Marching forward is Brian Norman Jr. looking to clean up shot, letting the world know that he's the one that's going to get the job done this here evening. 1 minute and 53 seconds looking for the left hook is Brian Norman Jr. with a calm, cool demeanor. Left hand being thrown by Brian Norman. Feints on the outside by Norman Jr. Dipping down low. 1 minute and 43 seconds, round number 1 of 10. Eyes wide open right now, and Brian Norman Jr. flicking his jab. Another jab flicked out, pumping out right there. Nice jabs by Brian Norman Jr. Norman Jr. working them jabs. Lightning quick, working that jab. Norman Jr. is over here, been working on himself. He took that L. He said, you know what? I'm going to switch up, tighten up little things, get rid of certain things, and I'm going to come out a nice, sharp, ultimate fighter. And you can clearly see that Brian Norman Jr. has shaken off that loss to Devin Haney. Jabs being flicked out by Brian Norman Jr. Looking sharp, baby. Decatur wins greater, baby. 1 minute and left hook lead. Missing that punch is Brian Norman Jr. 1 minute and 8 seconds left. Taking a step back. Jab flicked out. Look what Ronnie Shields can do to a fighter. Heard him anew. 1 minute flat in round number 10 of 10. Round number 1 of 10 early on. Jazz being flicked out on the outside, keeping his distance right now, looking for the counter. Straight right hand was Wagner, but nothing was there. 53 seconds left, round number 1 of 10. Jab going down to the body, up on his toes right now is Brian Norman Jr. saying this punch right here, pumping his jab out. Good work right there, saying pump that jab out. Beautiful jabs by Brian Norman Jr. Pumping that jab out, and Wagner on the outside don't know what to do to get away from the jab. Don't know how to keep his head off the line. None of that. 32 seconds left, round number 1 of 10. Hands held high to the chest area of Wagner. And you can see on the front trucks of Wagner, it says Leroy. Right hook over the top being thrown by Brian Norman Jr., forcing Wagner to stay on the back. And Wagner hurt. Body shot with the left hand going down low by Brian Norman Jr. About to pepper and tear his ass up. Starting to light him up right now is Brian. Give him a second. Give him a calm down. He just punching. 10 seconds left. Jazz flicked out on the inside. All in the clinch. Trying to touch his little bum right there is Brian Norman Jr. Trying to clown him a little momentarily. Touch on him like little boy. Little pet him real quick. Like I told you, I was going to sing you this evening. Jazz being flicked out, thrown, and missing that. Going back to their neutral corners. Give it round number 1 to Brian Norman Jr. Boo, mute that. Turn the TV. Ronnie Shields is giving them instructions right now, talking to Brian Norman Jr., saying everything is good, but don't be in a rush. You understand what I'm telling you? Don't be in a rush. You don't have to rush anything here tonight. Stay behind your jab, and you work that jab. You understand what I'm telling you, Brian Norman Jr.? Everything you do is behind that jab here tonight, young man. You understand what I tell you? That's Ronnie Shields talking to Brian Norman Jr. Ready to go out. Jazz being flicked out on the outside by Brian Norman Jr. with 2 minutes and 51 seconds here in the second round. Keep calm, stay cool, and just pump that jab on the outside. Up on his toes right there, uppercut with the left hand, barely nipped him. Left hook missed that shot was Brian Norman Jr. The left hook landed right there by Brian Norman Jr. Right hand down to the body. Vicious shot by Brian Norman Jr. Had Wagner on wobbly legs. Now Wagner is over here retreating. Left hook body shot, punches and punches being thrown by Brian Norman Jr. Right hands being thrown by Brian Norman Jr. Punches and punches, put it on right hand, and down goes Wagner. Down goes Wagner, sitting on his ass, looking up like I don't know what to do. Referee at 5. The referee at 6. He's quitting on himself. Referee at 7. Referee's at 8. The referee's at 9, and he's gonna wave off the fight. Referee allowed him to stand up, saying, "Can you continue?" Referee is allowing this. What are you doing? He does not want to fight. He does not want to fight. The referee gonna allow this shit. Go get him, Norman. Clean him up, Brian. Clean his ass up for talking crazy to your champ. 1 minute and 53 seconds. Left hook marching forward right now. Feints on the outside, pumping that jab out. Brian Norman Jr. trying to get this victory. Right hand over the top, and down he goes. Right hook over the top, and down goes Wagner. Looking up at the referee. The referee's at 4. His shoulder, like on my shoulder. Wave off the fight, ref. I can't continue. I don't know what to do. 8, 9, and stayed up at 9. Referee called time. Referee called timeout. Referee called timeout. Looking at his shoulder right now is Wagner. Wagner is looking at his shoulder, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on? He is done. He is saying he is done. He's walking him off to the corner. The crowd is booing. I don't understand this. 1 minute and 33 seconds. He called timeout saying my shoulder is hurt. My shoulder. Look at Brian Norman Jr. looking in the camera like I told y'all I was going to clean him. This sucker can't touch this. And look at the doctor. Now you want to put the gloves on. Now the doctor putting his gloves on, taking his time. Oh, they tripping. Oh, they tripping. What the hell is doing? Looking at the shoulder right now. Doctor barely took his time. You don't get to call a timeout in boxing because his shoulder messed up. Hell nah, especially an injury. They tripping over here in Norfolk, Virginia. 1 minute, 33 seconds, they call a timeout. Wagner getting cleaned up. He clearly don't want to fight. His shoulder is done. And Brian Norman Jr. in his corner like, come on, champ. Over there dancing, do something, Norman. And they waved off the fight. Beautiful work right there by Brian Norman Jr. And hold on, let me get a short of this bullshit. And look at he allowed him. Right hands being thrown. I'm getting shorts now, y'all. I got to rewind this so I can get shorts. 1 minute and 55 seconds. Stalking him right now is Brian Norman Jr. on the outside, left hand, big shot with a right hand being thrown. Boom, right hand, and down goes Wagner. Down, look at Wagner. My forehead, he hits hard. And the referee giving him the count. I think is my shoulder. It really hurts me. I don't want to continue, but the might in me and my will allow me to rise to my feet. Time. Referee calling time. Referee calling time. You can see Wagner. It's my shoulder. I don't know what's going on with it, but it hurts me so much. It hurts so bad. And I'm going to walk you to the doctor. Let's go walk you to the doctor. Come on now. We're going to take our time. I'm going to call a timeout. We don't usually do this in boxing, but for a Canadian, I think we will do this. And look at Brian Norman Jr. looking in the camera. He's I'm gonna clean him up. Look at the doctor. The doctor ain't even got his gloves on. The doctor ain't even ready. Nobody's ready. Norfolk, Virginia, y'all tripping. Finally getting that glove on, touching the shoulder. Like, what's wrong with your shoulder? What's wrong with your arm? Do you feel it in your wrist? Is there anything in the bicep, tricep, anything? Do you want to continue? I can feel it on your trap as well. Do you think you can continue? You think you don't throw that left hand? And now look at the referee. Can you make this fight? No? Then you can't continue. You know what? Then it's over then. We can't continue this bout. Look at Brian Norman Jr. looking on the outside. Brian Norman Jr. just standing there, and the referee waved off the bout. And the referee and bowed down. Look at Brian Norman Jr. going to the corner. Clean him up out of there. Get him early. Brian Norman Jr. Look at the crowd. Bow down to Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr. back, baby. Hugging and respecting his corner. Be Norman. Go clean him up, baby. Let's go. Show his respect. Ronnie Shields got him looking clean. Ronnie Shields got him looking crisp. Everybody show up. Brian Norman Jr. is back and better than ever. Back and better than ever. Look at Wagner. I thought I can do it. I was talking crazy. He stunk at the weigh-in, but he came out just amazing in the ring. His power, his ability, he just overwhelmed me. He was just a better boxer, and my ego can't accept that. I'm hurt right now. What do I do with self? And then saying I'm going to show my respects like a man. That's what I'm going to do. And walked off, going to show his respects to Brian Norman Jr. Wagner going to show respect. It's nothing but love. Hey, you went out there and did your thing. We was talking crazy, but that's for the build-up. You went out there and showed your true self. You a true champion, dog. And then showed his love and then walked off, and look at him. That's the corner of Wagner. Everybody going to show their love and respect to Brian Norman Jr. Showing his respects. Look at Ronnie Shield. Like, hey, you did your thing. You did your thug thizzy. And you can see Brian Norman Jr. wiping himself off. Getting himself together right there is Brian Norman Jr. saying salute to everybody. And then look at him. Get this on and put this on me, because it's going to be cold in Norfolk once we walk outside and that wind hit my flesh. My pores going to open and I don't want to get sick. So just hold on and put this on. Let me take this glove off and then we can put the garb on my chest. But talking to him, he okay? He concussed too? I does that from time to time, but I'm gonna take pictures with everybody. Just let me put this on. And Wagner is in the corner. They're unraveling the gloves of Wagner, talking to Wagner like you knew you had no shot at this dude, but we allowed you to talk crazy. And then Brian Norman Jr. say, hey, we been here before. You want me to take pictures? I can take pictures. There's nothing. Hey, get in here and take a picture with me. We gonna take a kneel down right there. Hey, they throwing up this. They throwing up this right there. Oh, Brian Norman Jr., everybody, the throwback promotions where fighter get knocked out. We all in the building, ladies and gentlemen, doing a thug thizzy. Now they're going to show the replay. Let's see the replay. Jab, boom. Right hand over the top, left hand being thrown right there by Brian Norman Jr. This one, Brian Norman Jr. started to attack his opponent, started to get on him. Right hand being thrown, left hand being thrown by Brian Norman Jr. Right hook being thrown, left hand being thrown, boom, right hand, sit your ass down. And sat down was Wagner. Looking up, body shot. Right hand thrown by Brian Norman Jr. Wagner trying to just stay alive right here. Right hook over the top. Left hand being thrown. Left hook body shots being thrown. Letting it rip and letting it go as Brian Norman Jr. forcing Wagner to sit down on his arse. And the referee starts to give him the count. Just sitting down like, I don't know what to do with myself. He really hurt me. I'm just going to sit down, I guess. And then pumping his jab out as Brian Norman Jr. after he rose up and boom, straight right hand. Left hook missed that shot with Brian Norman Jr. Right hand clubbing over the shot. Thudding and down goes Wagner. That's when the referee said down. He goes sitting there like, oh, my forehead. Why he hit me like that? And then pumping that jab out. Getting short, y'all. Left hook being thrown right there. Straight right. Left hand to the body. Brian Norman Jr. right hook over the top. And down Wagner went. And then Wagner was looking at him like, whoa. Then look at the referee. Get your ass back in. Brian Norman Jr. walking off. I told this clown I was going to clean him up. I'm one of the best fighters in my division. Let's go. I'm really him. You see this haircut I got with a taper? I'm different. And down Brian Norman Jr. standing there with Ronnie Shields, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm going back live to the live post-fight interview with Brian Norman Jr. You came out early. Was that the fight you were expecting him to bring? No, he said he was going to press harder than that. I was expecting something serious, you feel me? But he came out playing, so I said, okay, cool. Let me go ahead and calm him down. So I came out trying to take his head off, so I was swinging big. Let me calm down. Let me get back to my jab. It was fundamentals. Get back to my fundamentals because it's fun to my mental, and I still got the job done. Taking care of the body, taking care to his body early on. Was that on your mind coming into this fight? Was work that body? Absolutely. I was looking at him. He don't look very strong in the stomach. So, and in a press concert, he told us he gonna get stocked to the body. I didn't even know that. So appreciate you. So I'm gonna go ahead and steal that. So he gave us the blueprint for us. Walk me through the first knockdown of this fight. What were you looking for when you was pressing him in this fight? The body shot. I was looking for the body shot. Of course, I landed that body shot. I went to the body shot. He tried to keep that body shot, but I came out there and I let my hands go. The second knockdown, the final knockdown, it seems like you kind of got 11 or 12 count. What were you looking for to get the show? I knew he didn't want to fight no more. I knew he didn't want to fight in the first round, and then it was all about setting him up with a shot, you feel me? But we here and we going. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Norman Jr. Now we got to get ready for the main event of the evening. Keyshawn Davis, he takes on Nair Albright, and it's going down the second time around. Woo! Versus the businessman. Let's